Create a life of entrepreneurial freedom with insights from successful creatives, entrepreneurs, and investors. Discover how they overcame challenges and turned their biggest dreams into reality. They share their personal success playbook so you can build the business and life you truly want. Welcome to Passion Millionaire, the podcast by Robert Roth. Rock and roll your dreams.
Welcome to today's podcast episode of the Passion Millionaire podcast. I'm stoked about today's guest because it's something totally different. And I stumbled upon him on LinkedIn, and this guy is on TV with his products. This guy is on really big media. He has met really big people that you probably have seen on TV before because he's an inventor and he has created products that people buy and have in their kitchen that you might have even seen in some stores already or on TV before. And he's also helping other people to create their inventions. So in case you have an invention in your mind, he might be the right person to get in contact with. And I'm super curious about what we're gonna learn from him today. He has sold millions of his items that he has invented. He's gonna give us a lot of the detail. So welcome, Brian Fried. Please go ahead and reintroduce yourself real quick. Who are you and what are you all about?
Thank you so much, Robert. And speaking of millions, Passion Millionaire. All right, I'm wondering if your audience are already millionaires or they're on their way to being millionaires, but I'm happy to be on your Millionaire podcast. So thank you very much. Just kind of like what you mentioned, my name is Brian Fried. I'm an inventor. I have 15 issued patents. I've licensed products and earned royalties from some of them. And even in the past, I've manufactured products locally and overseas. And I've been working as the inventor coach for all these years as well. So whether people have an idea, they're looking to manufacture, they're looking to earn royalties, I'm kind of putting them through the process. I've authored 3 books. My latest one is How to Make Money with Your Invention Idea. I've started and founded many inventors groups in the past, but I've been running the National Inventor Club, which is a live stream once a month. And just to keep inventors networking, collaborating, just helping each other out in between, I also have an app for inventors called Inventor Smart Community that I've invented, and that's available on Google Play and Apple App Store. But I'm excited also, Robert. I would love to share my experiences and kind of put people in the mindset that when you have an idea, how to capture it, and let's figure out how we can make some money with it, and maybe you can be the next gazillionaire inventor.
That's not my personal goal, but maybe somebody's listening right now. And what I personally find so interesting is, becoming an inventor, that's a very unique thing, I would say. And definitely it must be such a big passion of yours. And then figuring out your way. And then that's what this podcast is all about. Like, make your passion into a career that pays well. So I'd be super curious to learn, like, how did you kind of turn yourself into an inventor? Or how did you figure out I am an inventor in the first place and then build a career out of that? Like, how did you get paid at first?
Well, first off, Robert, I think you are an inventor because you created this podcast. No?
Right.
So
yeah.
That's the thing is,
so.
Everybody's an inventor. You just don't know it. And it doesn't matter who you are. And I say this a lot. You could be a doctor, lawyer, unemployed, senior citizen, student. At some point or another, somebody's coming up with an invention, coming up with an idea to improve something. Look, a lot of times for me, I'm coming up with ideas that I find annoying. And if I see something that's somebody's doing that could be done better, or if I'm doing it and I figure out that it takes me 5 steps to do this and it's annoying to do that way, and then I have to clean it and everything else, maybe I can do it in 2 steps. And just having that problem solution mindset, I think everybody has it. It's just when you do have that idea to stop and capture it and then figure out, is this something that I should work on or not? Is this something that I should put my time, money, energy, effort into? And then am I going to get a return on it? I'm sure many of your listeners out there are into the research, development, putting your money in, and what are you going to get in return? And that's something that's important for any business out there, especially when you're coming up with an idea. You want to treat it as a business. And that's the way I look at it. So the way that I kind of got started, Robert, I mean, I think about it in the past when I was younger and growing up, I used to take things apart, but not in an aggressive, angry way, but in a curious way to see what's inside this thing. How many different parts are inside and what is it made out of, and just asking questions. And as I kind of went through my stages of my life, I realized that I started to make a list of all these ideas that I had. And I said, you know what? Some of these are good, but is it only for me, or is it for other people out there? Is it something that there's a big enough window of opportunity to kind of maximize and make $1 gazillion, or is it something for a niche market? And that's okay too, and you can make the money. But is there enough people, and are you going to be able to be found within that niche to make it so it's worth your while? And that's the thing, is some people look to start their own business and manufacture and kind of build a brand out of what they have. And other people might choose to maybe keep their day job and continue licensing, trying to take your idea, put it in front of a company that is kind of in that space already. They manufacture it, they distribute it, and you earn a royalty from it. So you can have kind of a nice balance in life also. But, sometimes taking the bigger risk could be the bigger reward, and maybe starting the business by yourself. But that's the thing. As the inventor coach, what I do is I figure out who you are, learn about your idea, and then help you to make a better decision on what you should do or what you shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm. What would be a typical example? Let's say you have told me right before we press the record button here that you're working with a couple people right now to bring out the inventions quicker and more purposeful, and also more on the money. So what would be an example there, how you kind of had sped the process up and also make it more monetizable, so we could imagine something?
Well, I can work with a surgeon. I can work with a physician assistant. I can work with oral hygienist, somebody in construction that's has the bulldozers that has a part that goes to it. I have somebody else that is a chef that came up with a new spatula. It really doesn't matter, Robert. And that's the thing, is that a lot of times people are coming up with ideas that are in their profession, or maybe not. Sometimes they're completely different. I mean, I have somebody who has diabetes that came up with an amazing invention for diabetics. For me, with my inventions, I have a lot of housewares and kitchen gadget products. And the crazy thing is that I'm not really somebody that spends so much time in the kitchen besides eating, but I came up with things because I watch people, what they do. And I guess I watch my wife with some of the inventions also that I came up with, that said, you're doing that way, and I understand, but maybe you could do it better. So sometimes I get in trouble for that. But even like as my daughter was growing up, I mean, she's older now, but when she was growing up, I used to be involved with the baby stuff, bottles and formulas and toys and all this stuff. And then growing up, kind of going through soccer games and everything else, and getting into the mom and dad kind of going to the sports events type of ideas, and the travel. And and that's the thing, Robert, you wake up in the morning and you have an alarm clock going off, and maybe how do you wake up? There's people that wake up all different ways. So then you're in the bathroom and you're using things in the bathroom. Then you're in the kitchen, you're getting your lunch ready, or you're having breakfast, and then you're in the car, or maybe you're taking public transportation. What's happening around you? Or maybe you're on an airplane, and then you're at work, and there's things that are going on at work, and you come home, and then you have the weekend stuff going on. So there's a lot of things that are going on in your life on a daily basis. And the people who are inventing, that are innovative, are the ones that stop when they see or hear or doing something themselves, watching people, being a people watcher, whatever it is, to capture that idea. Because if you don't, what happens? Sometimes you have a thought and poof, it's gone. Somebody distracted you. And these days there's a lot of distractions, right? So you want to capture it. And once you do, that's when you say, okay, what do I do next? And a lot of people end up searching, trying to find things and figure out how to get to the next steps. But that's what I do. And that's why I'm on your podcast also, Robert. So when somebody hears that there's somebody that can help them, I want to be that guy. I want to be your inventor coach and help you to figure out, is this something that's going to make you money? Or maybe you should wait for your next idea. And that's okay too, because why go in a big circle and end up with the same thing as you have now, but just less time, money, energy, effort. So I want you to work on things that are going to make you money. And that's what I love to do.
Yeah, makes absolute sense. So I'd be curious also, how do you figure out if something likely makes money or a lot of money, or likely doesn't make a lot of money?
It's interesting, Robert, because I can give my opinion, feedback, advice, and I could tell you, quote unquote, how I feel. But who am I to tell you that your idea is great or it stinks, right? So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll show you fact and we'll look things up and we'll gauge and we'll make an educated decision if it is something that you should move forward with or not. So that's number one. And then if it is, then it's always good. Now we start to get into the intellectual property protection, building assets, right? You have a Millionaire podcast, so we want to build assets, and there is building assets with intellectual property, patents, copyrights, trademarks, right? So having these type of things, building a business and building value and assets there to be able to one day exit or just continue to make money and earn from it. So just going back to that is figuring out, is this something that you can call your own? That's why it's very important if we kind of beat it up a little bit. You know, a lot of times, Robert, somebody will come to me with an idea and they tell me, hey, Brian, I went down the aisle of Walmart and it wasn't on the shelf. I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, that's great. That's great. But you know what? There's other places besides Walmart that you got to check. And that's why even if it's not in the market, in retail, online, big box, whatever, brick and mortar, whatever you want to call it these days, you want to make sure that it's not in somebody else's patent, for example. So it's good to do what's called a patent search with a patentability opinion. And that could be done by a patent attorney or patent agent. And what they'll do is they'll take your idea, kind of vet it with you from what you've thought of. And then they're going to pull prior art. They're going to look at claims from other patents. And they're going to figure out if your idea is original enough compared to what's already in the patent office archives and see if it's something that's patentable or not. And if it is, then that's great. If it's not, then there's other options. But you have more options and more protection when you are able to get a patent. Sometimes, if the patent is expired, that over 20 years for a utility patent and 15 years for a design patent, which is only ornamental. Utility is how it functions and kind of the twists and turns and gears and purpose. And what happens is when that expires, so when you see a product out there, after 20 years or 15 years, it's going to expire. And that means that it's in the public domain. So anybody can make it now. You can make it and I can make it, Robert. And that's the thing, is that there's no intellectual property protection that you can get on it for a patent, but maybe you can come up with a good, unique name and you can have a trademark and you can build it up. But if I make it for cheaper than you, then maybe people are just going to buy it and it's not really a brand and they're just buying it one-off in that way. So you got to think about these things before you start investing. A lot of people end up at like step 7, but doing this patent search with a patentability opinion to me, and I know the kind of manual one that I do with people and they should do on their own also. I mean, just go on, put in a descriptive term and look to, and hit images and look to see if there's something pretty much right on. I know you don't want to see it, but realistically, if it's there, then why not stop and wait for your next idea? But a lot of people don't want to see it and they want to keep going. But I would rather that you know now so you can make a better decision. And that's kind of the first step in almost like your research and development. A lot of your listeners out there are entrepreneurs, startups, and you most likely have done either a business plan or you thought about what's going to make you different in the market. And this is the same thing as the research and development stage.
Yep, makes absolute sense. I'd be curious because I personally own also some trademarks, and like you can extend those. So probably you can also extend patents.
Well, I'm not going to give you legal advice here because I'm not a
Yeah.
patent attorney or agent. But like I mentioned, once it's expired, it becomes public. When you have a trademark, as long as you're using it in commerce,
Right.
you can continue using that name. You have to once in a while, there's certain time points that you have to check in with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to let them know that you're continuing to use it and that you've established yourself with that name in this certain class of goods, and then they'll give you the right continuously. But there are points before that you have to show that you are continuing to use it. So those can last. A copyright, for example, can last the lifetime of the author. So that those are good. But trademark patents have a time. So I bring up this point a lot.
Yeah,
You've heard of the Snuggie, right? The blanket with sleeves.
No, I didn't
Wow,
hear about that.
you might.
So maybe
That's okay.
elaborate real quick. Yeah.
Can you believe it? There's a blanket with sleeves out there that was invented a gazillion years ago.
Okay.
But there's a company that marketed a cute name called the Snuggie, a blanket. Just
All right.
picture a blanket, and then the blanket at the two sides have sleeves that you can put your hand in, and you walk around with a blanket, right? But the point I was going to make is that blanket with the sleeves has many other names that people have come up, Slanket and all these other versions. Why? Because it's in the public.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the difference there, Robert.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, there's always more to learn. So maybe also a little more to learn about you or your inventions and how you did market them, because you also told me you were on TV presenting some of your inventions and selling them on QVC, which is maybe the most famous selling channel on the planet. I don't know for sure, but please correct me and let us know a little bit about that, because I think that's quite an achievement.
Well, thank you, Robert. Look, we're all at a certain point in our lives, and some people are satisfied, and then others, there's plenty of room to grow. And that's where I feel like I am. I feel like I just started, and my purpose is just to show people if I can do it, you could do it too. And I'm nothing special. It's just I might have a head start, and I want to be able to share my wisdom at this point. I'm 51. I'll be 52 next month. I'm taking my master's degree in business administration so I could teach innovation to college students when I kind of slow down one day. Who knows when, but I'd like to do it. So the point about being on QVC, I think is interesting, because I think when you're coming up with an idea, and we kind of talked about the patent search with the patentability opinion, then you may want to do a prototype. So how do you do that? Maybe you find somebody that can do CAD files for you. So it's like 3D images on the computer that then you could take those files and you could put them into a 3D printer or go to a 3D printing company and be able to print. Or maybe it's a cut and sew type of job, right? Maybe it's just fabric that you're coming up with. I have inventors that are working on bedding. I have one with a mattress, another one with something else in the bedroom. I have another person with luggage for travel, like with different things. So it's just, you want to be able to make it real and bring it to life. And prototyping is something that's really fun to me, because it was in my head and now it's in front of me. Just like I have on my disastrous desk here of just iterations and attempts of different products that I'm working on. And if they're not good the first round, I do the second round and the third and the fourth, and I get it to a point where I want it to be really good. And if I need it to that point, if I'm going to be manufacturing and starting a kind of building that up into a business, or am I going to license it to earn royalties? And maybe it doesn't have to be perfect, because the company that I might license to, they might pick it up from there. So I know you asked me about me and my products and things, but just going through the process is really important to understand what it is that it takes to get it to start selling it. So after I make my prototypes, I check it, I make sure it works and looks and feels the way that I want, and I get some feedback on it, and then I beat it up a little bit before I start to show it. And before I do show it, that's when I file what's called a patent, right? So it could be a provisional patent application, which is a filing date, and it gives you 1 year to say that you're patent pending before you start converting it to a non-provisional patent application, which is really the utility patent that has claims in it. Or is it ornamental? And is it just the way it looks that you're trying to protect? And that's called a design patent. So I need to make a decision at this point how I'm going to protect it. And again, if there is protection or not. And if it is, I have better options, in my opinion, that I can do with it rather than not being protected, because who knows when the next kind of person that or company that wants to do the same thing, if they see me selling it well or selling well, then they're going to make the same thing. And then so I like having a patent because I'm basically having a monopoly on that invention for the time that the patent is alive. And if I license it, I'm giving a company a competitive advantage against other companies in the industry that they can have. So they win and I win for the time that it's licensed to them. So on QVC, that was an amazing experience. I was on there and I had my own inventions. I happened to meet a buyer at a trade show and she changed my life. And I had a chance to bring my products on air. And I mean, I came up with this product called Pull Ties, and it's a bag sealer. And I came up with it, Robert, because I didn't like on the bread bags, you know, those twist ties and the plastic tabs that are on it. Drove me crazy. Like, first off, I couldn't even open it. And then when I tried to put it back on, it either broke or I couldn't figure out which way it twisted to open or close. It drove me nuts. So I came up with this bag sealer. It's kind of a loop with a button that slides up and down a track. And I went on QVC with it. And these are the things that I think about when I'm coming up with an idea is, who is it for? Is it for mass market or is it for niche? And it's okay if it's for niche, but even if it's for niche, I try to figure out a way to open up your window of opportunity to try to find as many people as you can to buy it. And you got to figure out who your first, second, third audience is that's going to make you the most money. So like, for example, with these pull ties, if I went on QVC, Robert, and I said, you know what, Robert, do you like bread? Maybe you like bread. Maybe you don't like bread. Maybe this one does, that one doesn't. So I said, what else can it be used for? Let me go into the pantry. I see all these plastic bags in there. Let me go into the freezer. I see all these open bags that are in there that are trying to be closed or twisted somehow, made knots or whatever. And I started to go into all the different things. Your cereal bags are left open, right? You crunch it down in the box. So I said, you can use this for all those things. And at the end of the day, I said, how many people have a kitchen? That's why this product sold millions of units. Okay. And then there's other products that I have that are more kind of niche, but I try to always find a way to get to more people. And that's what I do with a lot of people is they can come to me with something and it could be attached to or part of a product. But I said, what if you take that and make it separate? And now if somebody, let's say you have an exercise bike, right? And you have this unique feature that's going to go on an exercise bike. But maybe I already have an exercise bike. So I love that feature, but now I have to buy a whole new exercise bike for that feature, and I'm not going to do that. So what if you took that feature and made it more universal to be able to put on for everyone? And now you have that bigger window of opportunity than one exclusive for that one particular bike. So that's what I do a lot, Robert, is I'm kind of the guy that takes your idea and figures out how you're going to make money with it. What's the biggest window of opportunity? What should you do first, second, third, fourth, fifth in priority order? And then what are you going to put in and what's your return? Just like any business, right? And what's going to make you different than every other product that's out there, how are people going to find you?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to sell it? Right? How are you going to market it? Are you going to be on Amazon, which is great and easy to launch a product? Are you going to be on a QVC because it's demonstrable? Are you going to build a business? Maybe you have one anchor product that's really your invention, and then you kind of put commodity type items around it that you build a brand out of. So when somebody comes to buy your invention, and then they maybe change their mind, but there's other things around it that maybe they could buy, you can make money with that visitor for that product, or they're buying that and they're upselling, cross-selling, all these different marketing type of experiences to make money. And that's what we're talking about here, is how to maximize your ideas and turn them into dollar signs. And that's the way to do it. But you got to be real. There's so many people, Robert, that are inventing or building businesses, and it's because of how they feel. And I appreciate that. And I know the feeling because I get it a lot. You start off with butterflies. Even when you came up with this podcast idea, you're like, oh my God, I think I'm going to have this amazing podcast. You get this feeling in your stomach. You're excited. It's emotional. You want it to change your life. You want it to change other people's lives, if that's the kind of your mindset. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wait a second. I got to do what? I got to put in money. I got to put in time and effort and energy and all this stuff. So what am I putting in and what am I getting in return? And that's where you got to separate the emotion from the business so you can make smart business decisions and know that what you're putting in is an investment and a return. Otherwise, maybe you don't need it. Maybe you're happy having a patent on the wall and that was your goal. Maybe you're coming up with products, or you came up with a product and it's not selling a gazillion units, but you're selling it, and people are buying it for the same reason that you came up with it, and that's your accomplishment.
Yeah,
Or
I would be super curious,
right?
maybe if I can cut in here real quick, because you help so many other people also to do exactly that, make this transformation happen from, okay, this is an idea I have, and then transforming it to a money opportunity. And I'd be curious to learn about, what would you say was the biggest transformation you helped happen from, hey, here is just a passionate idea, and now we have forged it into something that makes money as well. Like, give us that example. I'd be curious.
I love when people go into business for themselves, and that's what I do. A lot of times people are coming to me for licensing to earn royalties because they're not sure what to expect if they were going to start to manufacture it for themselves. And once I kind of put things into perspective, sometimes the shift is, you know what, I can do this and I can build a business for myself. And I couldn't be prouder of people that had this idea and it was written or drawn on a piece of paper. And all of a sudden now they have a finished product that they're selling. Behind the scenes, I'm involved with a lot of products that are launching, and I'm just happy to see them out there. And what I do as an inventor coach is I'll get you through from the idea to vetting it, to going through and getting the patent intellectual property activity done on it.
Yep. Do you have one example? Like pick one. I'd be curious to learn which.
Well, I mean, I could talk about mine.
Big transformation also in terms of monetization then.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about mine because a lot of the inventors that I work with, I prefer that they share the story and talk about it. And again, I'm behind the scenes with a lot of inventors and I'm proud to see their inventions out to market. But like with mine, just being able to take my ideas and, like, for example, I have a set of tongs that, food tongs that you pull up and you lock the tongs on top. So what I did was I pulled that piece out from the top and I put grooves in it. So now instead of pulling it up and locking it, I actually have adjustments. So it's small, medium, and large opening.
Yep.
And just being able to take products that are or ideas that are in my head and bringing it out to market. I also have another idea. I'm kind of, I don't know. I guess I realized that I don't like germs. even before COVID,
Who
right?
does?
You want to be cautious. You don't want to get sick. There's things to do. You want to keep going, right? You don't want to be down and out being sick. So I noticed that people scoop their hands in bowls to take out pretzels and potato chips and nuts and all that stuff. So what I did was I came up with a design for a sphere that opens up like a mouth, and you scoop it and then you can use it to eat from. And
Yeah,
I thought it would look really cool to have a face on it because it kind of split and it looked that way like a mouth.
yeah.
So I went to
Like Pac-Man.
right. Right. Back when I went to a trade show and I showed a company that's in storage solutions and kitchen gadgets, housewares. And they said, you know what? We have a deal that's pending with Sesame Street, with Nickelodeon, and this would be perfect. So put it away. Don't show it to anyone else. Let's do a deal. So they manufactured it and they got the license. So every time one of these sold, I would get paid, and Elmo's Sesame Street and Nickelodeon would get
That's
paid.
awesome.
So we
Wow.
sold millions and millions of units of this.
Yeah.
And this was on strip clips and Walmarts and all the major retail stores and supermarkets and drugstores. Like, it made me feel great to see my product out in the on a clip strip and actually going down the aisle, watching people pull it off and putting it in their shopping cart.
Love
It
it.
was amazing. And even now, Amazon is blowing away sales, and there's plenty of other places for you to buy things online. But I have a simple product. One of my inventions is called the paper towel topper.
Mhm.
And during COVID, I thought it was disgusting because I was paying attention to a lot of things going on around me, but paper towels were hard to get. So I noticed that the top of mine was disgusting. Like when you use when you're pulling off a sheet, one hand is going on top of the paper towel roll,
Yeah, in the
and
kitchen.
you're
Yeah.
pulling the sheet off with the other. So I noticed that it was wet, dried up, dirty, orange juice, tomato sauce, like dirt from outside. It was gross. So I asked my friends and family to take pictures of the top of their rolls. And they're like, Brian, what are you up to now? I'm like, just take the picture. Let me see it. And I saw that people's were disgusting. So I came up with a cap that has tabs that go into the inner tube of any paper towel roll. So now when your hands are wet or dirty, you put it on top, you pull the sheet off, and it stays clean and dry on top. So I'm selling thousands of these units on Amazon and my personal website. Just
Yeah.
something simple. So
Love
you
it.
don't have to have, I'm working on wind turbines and I'm working on some major medical devices and
Mhm.
a lot of complicated type of items. But you know what? Some of the simple ones also can do the job. You just need to capture those ideas before they're gone and figure out if it's something that you should work on or not before you do.
Pretty exciting. So this one you are selling yourself. That's your own
Yeah.
listing, and you're managing, or have somebody who
Yep.
manages that
No,
for you, I guess?
I put it on myself. I do have different people in my company that kind of take care of some admin operational type of things, but for the most part, I'm just giving you a couple examples just again to say if I can do it, you could do it too. And just the perception of coming up with an invention. Yeah, it's not easy when you're not aware or you don't know what to do, just like anything in life. But when you figure it out, that's when you could figure out that this could be the next $1 million invention. And are you going to do something with it? Or in 20 years from now, you're going to say, oh, that was my invention. And, I woulda, coulda, shoulda, all these things and let it go by. So
Yeah.
that's why it's really important that I put this message out there that if you do have an idea, to capture it and figure out if it's something you should work on or not, because maybe you can be the next millionaire inventor.
100%. And I really appreciate that, because usually I ask the question, if you had one message, which one would it be? I guess that was yours. So in case somebody has something in mind and now we know you are helping to make the right decision, is this something that can make money or not? And then if yes, what's the right steps, in which order? And you help them take those steps and even go to market with them. So what's the best way to reach out to you? Just let us know real quick. You can name any website, the most important ones for you, or social media link. And I'm also going to go ahead and link them at the episode description as well.
That's great. Well, I'm easy. Wait a second. I shouldn't say it like that. I'm easy to get in touch with. So you can find me at brianfried.com. And you know what, Robert? A lot of people spell my name wrong. They spell it Brain. So I'm brain fried. But you actually say Brian Fried, Fried. So
Yeah.
BrianFried.com is my personal website. And if you want to join my Inventor Smart community, you can download the app on Google Play or Apple App Store. You can find it on any of those under Inventor Smart Community. And those two are pretty quick to get in touch into my kind of community with National Inventor Club. I also just launched a soft launch of Inventor Chat, which is a public online forum to be able to for inventors to help each other out. So those are some easy ways. I usually do a 10-minute call to figure out how I can help you. That's free. And then if you do need to work with me, I do get paid for my time, but I make sure that I earn it. So I'm happy to help anybody out there with a big idea, and get in touch. Let's see if we
Brian.
can make things happen.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you so much for that. Gonna share those links also. And again, thank you so much for being here and sharing all your wisdom and knowledge about this space.
Thank you so much. Capture it before it's gone and keep moving forward. Find me and let's figure out how we're going to make money with your big idea.
All right. Thanks. See you soon.
Thank you.
Go to rockandrollyourdreams.com/podcast.